What do I normally say at the opening? Shit. I'm an idiot. It's Monday, the 26th of... Arse. It's Monday, the 26th of... I nearly said November then. F*** me.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Treehouse.
Oh, madhouse. I'll try and be as quick as I can. I appreciate you losing weight as we speak. It's Monday, the 26th of December, 2016, and you're listening to the Modelmaker's Treehouse Club from modelmakingguru.com. Hey everyone, it's Fox from Model Making Guru. Merry Christmas. Not Happy New Year yet, not yet. But Merry Christmas. It is the 26th of December, so by now you're all really fat and overfed and really bored of the crap Christmas TV. So sit and watch us for an hour because we're much better. We have 100% less Queen talking, and yeah, we're not much better actually. Anyway, let's crack on. Try and make it a quick one this week because obviously we all have family and Christmas nonsense to deal with. But we hope you've all had a good Christmas. We've all had hopefully good Christmases. Let's go around and see who's with us. Obviously, I'm here. Woohoo! It'd be a bit difficult to do this if I wasn't. Who else do we have with us? With us this week, as always, is the Sweet Hat. The podcasting hat is back. And first up, we have, as always, on that part of the screen. I don't know why you always get that square, Adam, but Adam from Enigma Model Making is with us from somewhere in the deep, dark depths of the USA.
I'm like that guy that always got that one square on Celebrity Squares, you know, the whatever show. I'm always that middle guy.
You're always the one there saying, I don't want to be here, but I need the money.
Yes.
You don't remember what TV series I was in, but I'll take the money anyway.
True sign that I have been put into a B category actors list.
Most of us are in the Z category, so I wouldn't worry about that. So how are you doing, Adam? Have you had a good Christmas, my friend?
Had a very good Christmas. Spent some time with the family.
With the family? You went all home.
With the family!
Oh, I need the manager. I need to ask the manager. Have you eaten all the foods?
Pretty much so.
Yes. It's the law at Christmas. You have to eat all the foods, whether you want to or not.
Well, I think we definitely need to talk about foods today because my Christmas dinner was literally... My Christmas lunch was ramen noodles and chicken.
That's my kind of Christmas dinner. I want all of that Christmas dinner. Can I come round next year? Because I
Absolutely.
want that for Christmas dinner. Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump a little bit to the next person because one of us here is probably sweating gallons and losing pounds as we speak. So I'm going now. Some say he lives in this country that's so strange, nothing makes sense, and people put sugar on their toast. Some say. I can't think of the next one. We call him the Twig.
I'm dying. This thing is hot. I don't know how to manage.
Good choice of hat, TK. That's now your official podcasting hat. You have to wear all the time. You do realise you've put yourself in that corner now.
Oh my god! No. What did I do?
No, we'll let you off. You can remove your awesome helmet, which you need to paint up like Gold Leader. I have decided. Switch all power to front reflector screens. So how are you doing, TK? How was your Christmas, my old friend? Hang on, he's recovering.
So I'm switching to my regular headset. My Christmas was good. We don't really do presents at Christmas because we have Santa Claus, which is basically Christmas on 5 December. So we just ate a lot.
This is acceptable. I must admit my present count was a little low this year, but I'm not too fussed. I did get an awesome Halo ODST Halo 5 t-shirt from my good friend Mike in New Zealand. Thank you, Mike. It's kind of awesome. But yeah, no, it's, have you had good times with the family and all that kind of nonsense? You've been invaded?
Yeah, we did. My sister's got a new puppy, as you may or may not know, so that little animal is still hyper from yesterday. So
that's because you feed it all the haggle slag, so it's had all the sugar in the world.
No, they tend to make my dog go warp 5 when they're at my place. So it was my turn this year to return the favor.
Wow. Trying to imagine your big dog walk 5. My brain can't quite pass that, I don't think. I think that's some kind of military level shenanigans going on there.
I might have something I can show in a bit that might sparkle your imagination a bit.
Okay, well, we'll let you get on with finding that. Next with us this week, is this your first time on the podcast, Ted? I can't remember. Is my good friend Ted. Sorry, I forgot to say TK's from TK's Models. Yay, my good friend Ted, Skipper Ted from Skipper Scale Models. This is your first podcast? I can't remember, Ted.
No, I've
Did you
done
the
a few
first one?
No, I think we did the first one, and then I missed the last couple.
That's right. Well, how are you doing, Ted? Have you had a good Christmas?
Oh, it's been fine. Family things, food.
That's as much as you can remember. After that, it's all just a blank. I have to apologise to viewers. I need to blow my nose, but I'm not going to blow it. I've got the cold again. Sorry. Keep talking, Ted. It'll take the camera off me while I do ablutions.
Right, hang on. Where's the button? Let's have a bit of a... Can't get this thing to bloody work now. Here we go. Although being a Father Christmas hat, it's a little bit out of time now, isn't it? Let's get that one. Get rid of that one. And we'll go talking about food. We'll go with this one.
And it still sings.
Right,
Ted, you're a crazy man.
hats, Christmas hats.
So how's the weather been up there in Cumbria land? Because you normally get like all the snow and everything, don't you, up there? But
well, we've had Storm Barbara.
that is the worst name for a storm, Barbara.
And I think we're about to get Storm George now.
Wow,
So,
you're getting all the middle class 1970s married couple storms basically by the names.
yeah. Other than that, TK. Good. Yes, we're getting all the storms.
Speak to us, TK. We get that. There we go.
Yeah, you wanted to see a Walk 5 dog? Well, there you go. That's basically it.
That's a dog on a road trip. Love it. Yes, I'm one of my followers was sending me pictures today. He lives. I'm guessing. I do apologise to the person who it is because I've never actually asked him where he is, but I'm guessing it's possibly the Isle of Man or the Isle of Wight, or Anglesey or somewhere. I'm somewhere on that side, on that coast. He sent me shots of a ferry going like this in the waves in the storm, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not on that ferry. Whew. So we've had the back of Storm Barbara. We've had, here where I am in Manchester, there's been no bad weather at all. It's been calm and not even raining. So, nothing wrong with the Cheshire part of the weather. And last of all, with us this week, on the far right there, the right way up, because we still haven't figured out how to do him upside down, my good friend Will from Models. But there we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Will, you're showing off your pussy again, aren't you?
Well, okay.
And we are back. Sorry about that. So, Will, how the devil are you, my friend? Have you had a good Christmas?
Yeah, not too bad. Unlike the rest of the people on the club, my Christmas was quite warm, as it's summer over here. So, yeah, got to spend a few days at the beach with the missus, and that was all good.
You do realise we'll completely hate you now because you said warm and beach and sun.
Yeah. We don't get snowy Christmases here. We just get sun.
Just...
Well, and a bit of rain. But mostly sun.
The fact that he's saying this, but he's also got that little bit of a head thing going on, like I'm better than you guys.
Oh
yeah,
I get a sunny Christmas.
A little bit of tood coming out there from Will, I think.
But no, it was awesome. Yeah, enjoyed a bit of a quiet one this year. So had a family Christmas earlier on in the month, and then just me and the missus away for the last few days, and it's been awesome hiding away from the family.
Cool.
So,
What is awesome, or it's awesome being away from the family? I'll let you not answer that one. It's probably best you don't. This is the internet after all.
The pass. Next question.
So yeah, hopefully I say all our viewers have had good Christmases yesterday or day before yesterday, depending when this goes up. It's not the new year yet, so we're not going to do too much of a year in review because there's probably not much to review. As usual, I've prepared by getting no news stories at all whatsoever because there haven't really been any that I can think of. George
Michael died.
Yeah. Now pull that back to model making somehow, and I'll be impressed. It's true. It's true.
Well, if you
I got a model making one. What about for you guys in the UK, the D'Agostini R2D2 build that's fixing to come out on subscription?
Good God, man! You mentioned D'Agostini, and I'm just gonna suffer for that now, aren't I? With the comments.
You're welcome.
We don't even get the Millennium Falcon one over here yet.
Well, when I put the video up, my followers will know that I redid my a little welcome video on my YouTube channel, and in there I made the mistake of putting a little clip of the Diag Falcon. Yeah. When are you going back to it? When are you doing it? It's like, oh, why did I put that in there? So for my viewers who are watching, I will get back to the D'Agostini Falcon when I get a workbench that's 3 times the size of the workbench I've got because the Falcon's far too big. For some reason, your PC keeps freezing, Ted.
Yeah, I don't know why, so you'll have to bear with me if I sort of go blank.
Okay, just so you know, the entire world can see your little speech bubbles, by the way.
Oh, right.
So keep it clean, family friendly in this half anyway. Yes, so I always suffer the consequences when anybody mentions D'Agostini, so I will get back to it one day.
Yeah, but now you got a whole new model that you can start playing with, and that's the R2D2. Maybe that can fit on your bench.
Did you say bench then, or something else? Because I misheard that.
Your workbench.
Yeah, I've not actually seen that, so I'll have to look that up. Does it look? How big is it? Is it like 1/6 scale? Or
1/2 scale.
Really?
Yeah.
Half scale.
Wow. Half scale.
Wow.
From my understanding, I think it's half scale, and the thing that will get you is there's electronics.
Wow.
But looking at the electronics for the Millennium Falcon, it's basically plug and play.
It does sound kind of awesome, I've got to say. I'll have to look that one up. See, I'm so not in touch with. I'm so busy doing stuff normally that I don't actually pick up on the news.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because I called the USA branch of D'Agostini to restart my subscription to the Millennium Falcon. I had taken a couple months off just so I could get some stuff organized and save on the cash. And I asked them about the R2D2, and they're like, no, we don't know. Everybody's been asking. All we know is it's going to go out in the UK first and then a few months later.
Cool. I apologise for the viewers. I keep moving the mouse and the menu keeps popping up. Let me just get that menu to go away. Go away, menu. Go away, menu. Go away. Yeah, there we go. That's right. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. It's probably something I won't get because, again, the size is probably just too much for my petite workspace here. And I'd never get around to finishing it. I don't need another. We're only just coming to the end of the D'Agostini one now, and I've got a wardrobe full of Millennium Falcon parts. So, yeah, it's probably not best for me to do that one. I don't think that'd be in my wheelhouse anyway, because, I mean, the Falcon, yes, I want to make that. R2D2, not really something I want to build. What about you guys?
I see the Zaku arm behind you. How's that coming?
Ooh. Very kind of you to mention, sir. I've not got very far. We'll go around and do what we're all doing. I've done both legs. Both legs are now done. One was filmed. I'm working on the video at the minute. One was built. What I'm doing is I'm building one first to figure out how the hell to build it without looking like an ass on camera. And then I'm building the other one on camera. So the legs are done. Today I have been mostly building Tharm. Just to get used to it before I go ahead and do it on camera. And it's come out quite well. The arm is actually a lot easier to build than the leg. And there's a lot less scrape. There's still some little bits of scrapey. Where is it? Somewhere there's a little joint. But yeah, it's really nice. I did the same mistake on this that I did on the big strike, that I didn't mark off which finger was which. So I had to get all the fingers ready and make sure they're all in the right place because they're all different lengths. So that got interesting. So that's coming on slowly. I had to wait for like 2 days while I painted all the little red piston parts. So that was like, paint them, leave them for a day. Gloss them, leave them for a day. It was very frustrating. So that's
Yeah, but how do you like that articulation of a perfect grade, though?
Well, the thing is with this is it's a perfect grade kit because it's like the second one they ever did. It's more like a master grade. It's just like a big master grade. It's not got 8 trillion parts in each bit. There's probably as many parts in that arm as there would be in a master grade, apart from the hand, obviously. And the arm is really nice, especially these little, I don't know if it'll come out on camera, but these little pistons that totally didn't show because it was facing the wrong way. The little pistons that go back and forth a little bit. I really like the pistons.
Something froze up.
Did it?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it might not be me that's just freezing then.
Probably you guys. You guys are rubbish because you're in different countries. I'm in the correct country, so me and Ted are in the correct country. So we'll drive on the right side of the road, moving swiftly on. Oh, also the right way up for one of you. Yes. So yeah, it's coming on quite nicely. So what have you been working on, Adam?
I've been working on the B25. Been just basically pre-building some parts, getting it ready for priming and everything.
Lovely.
And then when I did that live cast, I started on that. I can never pronounce it. The little beach wind beast thing. Got him done.
Strandbeest. Cool, Strandbeest.
But guys, I had to charge up the compressor just so I could do this. Can y'all see that?
That's fucking
Oh, right.
That is awesome.
I love this guy.
There's nothing better than watching like a full life-size Strandbeest go down a beach under its own steam. The guy that kind of invented them, you see them and they just go along the beach like this under their own power. It's like they're like 20 or 30 feet high. Some of them, they are awesome.
Oh, but
now that was Katie's build. So did Katie actually build it, or was it you kind of built it?
it was Katie's build. She saw it. She's looked at the part. She goes, "You're going to build this for me, aren't you?" Yes.
So it's one of those. It's one of those builds.
Yeah. And as far as the Lego, still waiting on them to come in.
The emasculating castle
and everything. My son got a 1,000-piece Minecraft Lego set, and I was like, "Oh, do you want me to help?" "No, Dad." Okay.
Yeah, that's you told.
You got your own toys. Leave mine alone.
So you've not yet started on the emasculating castle.
No, I still have certain. Yeah.
Oh, what castle?
He's building the 20,000 part Disney princess castle, not for boys, kind of thing. So we call it the emasculating castle because he's got to build the Tinkerbell.
As it's Disney, it has to burst into song at some point, doesn't it?
Oh, God help me.
And then Adam was never heard from again. Although
We've got a Lego Christmas tree over here.
Eh?
We got a Lego Christmas tree over here, big tall thing. It's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 stories tall, and our Auckland's town square, whatever you want to call it. But it's all made out of Lego and lights up, and it's got moving figures around it and stuff. Yes.
There's no way they made that without using glue, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine so.
They must have used the Craggle.
I
watched the Lego movie
toy
over
stores. I
Christmas.
saw
What was that?
one of the local toy stores here. I saw a full-size R2-D2 made out of Lego, and then surprised me when I walked past it and it started moving its head and beeping at me as well. Well, that was pretty cool.
Cool. Only $5,000. Wait, is the New Zealand currency like the Australian currency? Would like £100 over here be like $12 billion in New Zealand, or have you got a decent currency?
No, we're like twice the price of you guys. So yeah, £30 for you is like $60, $70 for us.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's not good.
I still love going to Japanese websites and seeing these Gundams that I get for like $30 for like 50 billion yen or whatever. It's like, what the?
But you know what makes Japanese prices easy for us is that like 2,500 yen is it's the same number. So 2,500 yen is £25. 30,000 yen is £30. So it's really easy. You go, oh, it's £30. But for other currencies, you're thinking, hang on, what is 75,000 yen in dollars? It's like 150. I don't know how many that is. But for us, it's dead easy. It's like just take a zero off or 2 zeros. So you'll see like Japanese perfect grade kit, 380,000 yen. So 380 quid then, bonus. So Ted, tell me, you've started on the U-boat now, haven't you, my friend?
I have started it. I haven't done a lot because Christmas came along. And I haven't really done a lot more. I've made a few torpedoes. I've made those. It says there's 12, and there is 12 in the kit, but 5 of those are in the torpedo tubes, and they're closed up, and you would never ever see them again. So I don't really know that I'm going to bother doing them all. I'll just do a few, because I'm not going to fall into that trap again like we did with the Panzer and build everything and paint everything and weather it and then never see it. I just can't see the point. There seems to be a trait of trumpeter to do that. Build 12 torpedoes, then hide 10 of them.
Especially if you sat there and filled in all the seam lines on all those torpedoes and then realised, you know. I mean, you could have like one peeking out of a torpedo tube or something like that.
Yeah, I might try and have a look at
it in, but
yeah, I might have a torpedo tube door open or something like that. But I'm not gonna. There's too much of it to do anyway, so I'm not going to waste time on bits that we can't see.
I think given that kit, Ted, I think you're allowed to you know, miss out a few bits here and there purely because there are 10 million other parts to make in that kit.
Yeah. So, but yes, just before Christmas, I've started filming the video. Some of it's down and ready to edit. So we're nearly there for the first video of the series. So come along, folks, to Skipper Scale Models and watch the background, see the background sort of behind the scenes.
Always be pimping, Ted. Always be pimping. Oh, hello.
Skipper Scale Models. You can find me on YouTube as well.
Oh man, you just built that specifically just to do that, didn't you? This podcast is over. We've just reached the limit now. We can't get better than that.
What's sad is he's very good, Ted. You saved that from all of us.
Yeah, we didn't know about that. Oh, yeah.
Find me on YouTube.
The only thing is, Ted, now you've got to come up with something better for next time. So you've just given yourself a right rod. I love that. But I must admit,
it's going to be neon lights and showgirls.
Well, I'm not going to complain about that. Let's be honest.
You may just.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to that build. I can't wait to see that build coming on because that thing just looks phenomenal. I nearly said that YouTube. You've just broken me completely now. Yeah, that YouTube's going to look phenomenal when you build it. World War II German YouTube. Yeah.
I'll break the tubes.
So TK. What have you're still working on your special project, I suspect.
Yes, I am.
How goes your special project?
A little bit of delay because the door frame had to be ordered. So I'm looking at a week of delay.
This is my progress for my new studio, as Fox likes to call it. It's still a mess because I'm kind of struggling for space to put stuff. So my roof is now white, and I built that wall with preparations for electrical bits, which I still need to sort out and make sure there's current coming from there. And there's cupboards. I did the same thing on this side. So this will be my desk area in the end, because I got a roof window, so I can get some extraction going on there. And that's about it. All the mess lying around, but we're getting there. I even got a new light up there, which is kind of not properly attached, probably. So, yeah. That's what I've been working on, so you guys could see that.
But I had something lying around, so I've been playing with that for a bit and kind of completely broke it.
Yay!
I got half an Enterprise now.
How did you? Did you just bend? Did you zig when you should have zagged? Did you bend something the wrong way by any chance?
No, it's that press here, and I pressed a bit too harshly.
Ah.
And then the base buckled. Yeah, I need to fix that. But that's my model making thing.
Now, see, I can't help
last
but
month.
point out here that I can see behind you a General Lee. I spotted this with my eyes and everything, with all my eyes. Even though they go in different directions, I spotted it with my eyes.
Emptiness behind me.
Nah, I'm seeing a General Lee there. What's the story on that, dude?
The General Lee. Oh, this one. Yeah. It's an old kit, but it's warped really badly. So I kind of kept the body and discarded the rest. I got it for a birthday years ago. So
Revell?
no, AMT, I think.
AMT. I was going to actually, I meant to say AMT. When I was a young boy and I used to go to my local model shop, they had a model of Roscoe's police car, and I always wanted to get it, and I never did. But looking back at it now, I should have. I think it was a Plymouth Grand Fury. No, it wasn't a Grand Fury. I can't remember what it was. It was a classic American sort of police car. I should have got that. It had the shotgun holder on the dash and everything. Damn. I think Tony made one. I think Tony made one of those in his catalogue. So still much to do on the man cave. Then I take it.
No, I've progressed pretty much 3/4 of the building stage. So it's electrical bits and just one wall left, and then flooring, a little bit of painting, and then I should be ready.
Cool. So we're going to soon see this awesome cave of manliness.
Yeah, I'm thinking another week or 2, maybe 3 before I get everything in there and have survived IKEA again.
Yeah, but IKEA hot dogs, man. They're worth the torture. They're worth being forced to go through all the different aisles, so you have to walk past all the stuff you can't afford and don't need.
It's a mandatory step in shopping at IKEA. Get me a hot dog.
Yeah, hot dogs and meatballs.
Yeah.
Meatballs.
It's always the same wherever you go. It's always the hot dogs and the meatballs. Cool. Well, that's nearly done, so we can't wait to see you doing stuff in there. And last of all, Will, my old friend, what have you been working on, if anything, over the last, what's it been, a week, 2 weeks?
Couple of weeks, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm a bit like Tico. I'm still building the bathrooms. I haven't done anything else other than, I don't know if you can call it a build. My secret Santa gift from work was a Mr. Potato Head Darth Vader. So assembling him is about the only model-related thing I've done. So
that counts. Cool. That counts. It's all
Darth
currency.
Vader.
Darth Vader.
But you could do some nice weathering on them. Just say you could do some real nice weathering, a little dry brush.
Yeah, get some lights in there, dude. Get some lights in the chest
Someone
plate.
mentioned, does the lightsaber light up? And I'm like, no, but I'm thinking, I could
It
maybe.
could do.
But yeah, that's about all I've done. So,
yeah, but then you're holding it next to your Saberworks lightsaber and going, yeah, mine's bigger. Mine's bigger and more impressive.
He's
Yeah,
got a
but
friend.
the thing is him changing the batteries in the butt of a Mr. Potato Head would be hilarious to watch.
Oh, he's not lighting up. Let me fiddle with his butt.
Well, he's got a friend now at least, because Mr. Tater Head, and then I got Indiana Jones one from a few years ago. So he's pretty cool.
Sweetheart.
He makes a noise too. You push his hat. You hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
we
So,
like that.
I don't know why people are getting me Mr. Potato Head stuff. It's like, yeah, okay. But
What have you done to engender this expectation that you'll be accepting of these gifts? There must
yes,
have been
I don't
something.
know. I wonder. I know that the work one is because everyone knows Star Wars. I just give them Star Wars, whatever. Yeah, so that's all good. So
Some people just don't get the hint when you have a particular hobby that you do all the time, and then they go and get you like a book.
yes.
Yeah, you get that sometimes. What have you got me? I've got your book.
Or a toy truck. Here's a toy truck. It's a model. No, it's not. It's a toy truck. It's not a model.
You can paint it and weather it. Ah, wow. So we've all got stuff. We've all got stuff going on. We've all got things coming together. Hopefully, we should start seeing stuff from you and TK coming up once your little buildy projects are out of the way, rather nicely.
Yeah, hopefully I've only got another couple of weeks on the bathroom that I can get back into doing some stuff. So I've been watching Ant doing his X-Wing. I'm like, I want to do my X-Wing.
Yeah, you need to get that stuff sorted out, dude. Well, what I'm going to do, let's take a quick break because I need to stop this recording temporarily. I just realised I didn't name the first recording. Arse. So what we'll do is we'll pause for a moment. We'll take a quick break, comfort break, and when we come back, we'll do a quick what we were going to do for 2017, and there's some questions. So,
Ice creams, and soft drinks will be served in the foyer.
yeah, Sunkissed Cura, toffee poppets, and king cones available. Right, we'll be back in a moment. I nearly did the Ted thumb then, so I won't do that. Back in a moment. And we're back. Back to me. Just a quick break there to get everything sorted out. Right, second half of the podcast. Not the second half of the podcast, but the second half of this pod. I'll shut up.
Shut up, Fox.
What?
Carry on.
We'll do a quick look forward to next year because it's nearly 2017. So it's time to have a quick think about what we're going to have lined up for next year. Just really quickly before we do your questions. Next year, my plan is I hope to get at some point the Bandai 1/500 scale Space Battleship Yamato. I've seen there's two. There's a 1/500 scale which is like 80 quid and is like this long. And there's also the 1/350 scale which appears to be about the same size, which is odd. But that's like £400 and it's like got 8 billion parts and lights. I'm not going for that one. I'm going to go for the 1/500 scale. It's kind of like a high grade, but it's just space. And I've never built a Space Battleship Yamato. I have never seen Space Battleship Yamato or Star Blazers, I think you called it in the US, or something similar. Never seen it. No idea what it is, but it looks cool. So I'm not going to try and compete with Ted's U-boat because it's got like 30 parts in it, but. Yes, I'm going to give myself a go at a boat. I don't really do boats, so I'm going to give myself a try at a boat. So that's my plan for next year. At some point, Space Battleship Yamato. So let's go.
The expansion set as well.
The cargo hold with all the fighters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might not because you don't get decals for the fighters. You have to paint them by hand, and they're all really small. So you get like for those who don't know, you get like one of the side panels comes off, and you can put in this entire bay with lots of fighter planes in it, space plane things. I might not go for that. But let's go in a random order. Let's say TK, what are you planning for next year at some point, if anything? Or is it all just a mystery in the far future?
Well, I'll be finishing my Horton and the Freedom Gundam, and then there's a few boxes I really want to dig into, but I'm not sure in what order, so I'll keep that a mystery for now.
Yeah, it's all a deep, dark mystery of the future. Will, what about you? What do you have planned for the new year, if anything?
Well, the year just gone, I've built a lot of Gundam up, but haven't painted them, so I want to go back and get in and paint them. But I mentioned earlier that I want to get in and do an X-Wing, like what Ant's doing, but I want to use that as an introduction to me doing weathering, because I've never done any kind of weathering before, really. So I want to use that as like a practice run for weathering and build my skills up before I do tackle the Millennium Falcon. So yeah, just mainly painting the Gundam that I've built and trying out my weathering on an X-Wing or two. I've got a couple of those kits, so if I stuff one up, I've got another one I can do. And
cool. Well, you had me hooked on every part.
You
had me hooked on every part of that plan because you started with Gundam, and at that point I was attached. So I'm sold on that one. And a good place to practice weathering is any Star Wars kit because they've got that used universe look. So of course it's going to be.
That's right. Yeah.
Going to be kind of kick ass.
And you can't really stuff it up on them really because you go as dirty as you want on them really.
Yeah. Well, I did.
Yeah, I might do my X-Wing as not as like everyone does a Red Squadron X-Wing. I might do mine as a Blue Squadron one from the latest movie. So
not a bad
idea.
Not a bad idea because you don't see that very often. Well, I did a red 2.5, so you can. Gunpla is freedom, and I will class any Bandai kit as Gunpla just because it makes it easier. Cool. And Adam, what about you? What do you have planned apart from the emasculating castle?
Apart from the emasculating castle, a couple people on Enigma Model Making Facebook page and the YouTube site has requested that I attempt a Doctor Who TARDIS control room. So I'm in the planning phases of that, trying to design that out, get that first of all, trying to figure out which one I'm going to actually build. I'm definitely going with the classic series because I like those sharp angles versus the coral look. But I'm planning on that. I also got the Mark IV tank that I'll work on it a little bit, then I get mad at it, throw it back in the box, and throw it in the closet.
So that's the kind of long-term occasional build, the Mark IV tank. What's the Mark IV tank?
Hold on a second. Let me grab it.
Okay. While he grabs that, Tedward, I don't think we kind of know what you're going to say on this one, but apart from the 3.5 meter long U-boat, which may keep you occupied for the next 2 years.
The mention of Adam had a tank just pricked up my ears, and I'm going to have a look.
Okay, we'll wait for Adam then. Were you distracted, Ted, were you?
Yeah.
All right. That's
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the TACOM? Yeah, the TACOM. Brilliant. Nice little tank. Nice little kit.
The downside is I want the tracks to actually be able to move, and each tank tread has like 5 pieces that you have to glue onto the actual tread just right, and they're the size of grains of rice. So,
well, I've seen that kit made up, and it makes a fantastic kit. You'll be well pleased with that, Adam.
Oh yeah, and I think the theme I'm going off of is the tank they used in Warhorse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a great film.
Yeah.
Oh, we look forward to maybe you'll get some time on that one then, because it'd be nice to see you getting into the proper armor side of things.
Oh yeah, I've done warplanes, but I've actually never done any kind of armored vehicle. And even with us and the infamous Treehouse challenge, trying to come up with something with that.
Yeah, we will do that one day. For viewers, we have a challenge plan where we'll do like a group build amongst the Treehouse builders, but we keep saying we're going to do it and we haven't yet. We won't tell you too much about it now, but yeah, that might happen one day. So back to you then, Ted. So aside from the 350-foot long U-boat that's got approximately all the parts that Bandai made in 1998 onwards, what else do you have planned, if anything?
Well, I did. I don't know if I said it on this podcast or my own live stream, but I think that if I spent all my time on that U-boat, I'd just mess with my head and I'd probably lose the mojo. So I do have a plan to do something else. What as yet, I don't really know. Just something that I could put the U-boat to one side and take my mind off it and go and build something else. But I don't know what to do yet, but keep watching skipper scale models.
Ted.
And you'll be able to find out when I decide.
See, we know you, Ted. What will happen is you'll say to yourself, right, I really need like an easy palette cleansing build just to get out of doing the U-boat all the time. And what will happen is you'll find one of the most complicated kits available.
Yeah, probably. As long as it's big.
Yeah.
But another thing, I think I'm going to concentrate as well on trying to do a bit more live streaming and some sort of hangouts like this, where other people can come and join in. You lot are always welcome. But I think I'll concentrate on doing a little bit more of that and putting myself out there a bit more so the viewers could see what we're doing.
Yeah, I actually misheard you and thought you were about to say some sort of porn. I'm like, wait, what? No,
no,
not the right time for that, not yet.
I tell you what, the one model, if I had to pick a Gundam for Ted to do, Fox, you've done one, I've done one, and that's the heavy arms. I would love to see what he would do with his tank knowledge and weathering with the heavy arms.
Yeah, I can see that because it is a kind of mechanical armor looking Gundam rather than a sleek and stylish. Is
that the sort of Warhammer type stuff? Speaking of which, I must apologise to Mr. Fox the other day when my granddaughter drove him to drink. When I got the Gundam out, and she said, "That's a transformer."
Yeah. One of my friends always says that. He says, "This is a transformer." Then I'm like, "No, it's not a transformer." But I tell you what, though, Ted, she actually did tell you to. She told you the when you were holding up the torso, and she said that's the wrong way around, and you did. You had it the wrong way around, so she knew which way around it went.
Yeah. That was quite.
It's upside down.
It was quite fun with the little one.
Yeah, that's quite cool. She's going to do more of those little Lego-y kits, isn't she?
She has, yeah. We're going to get her to do another. We'll do another live video build with her, and she can put another quick kit together. She's quite a little diva. She loves it.
Oh yeah, with a bit of help from Grandad, of course.
With a little help.
Yeah, I love on the video. If viewers don't know, go to Ted's channel, Skipper Ted on YouTube. Yes, and he did a little co-op build with his granddaughter, and they have the little Lego. They have not Lego. It's an Airfix kit, but they're like Lego, and it's like got say 20 parts, and it made a VW Beetle. And there's a beautiful little bit where she's making one part, and she's just kind of struggling to put it together. And you just put your hand in like that, because you expect it to come to you, and it's like hand. It was quite a cool build. Brilliant. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for next year, all of us. None of which will actually come to fruition because we'll all get completely distracted. It's always the way it goes. The only constant I think next year will be Ted's U-boat for the next year or two. I think it's fair to say.
Oh, I do hope to have it ready for Telford.
You're not specifying a year. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I won't specify a year.
Cool. Well, let's move on then. Let's just go to before we wrap up. Let's do some. I nearly said customer questions then. Let's do some viewer questions. I still have loads of questions from last time, so let's have a look and see what we have. Let's see what the good doctor has in his magic bag. Okay, question from Iman Yu. Have you had a model making disaster that was so bad that you just had to say that's royally, I won't say that because this is the family friendly, that's royally messed up and had to dump it?
Yes.
I'll say first. No, I've had ones where I've come close to throwing them out, and I've had ones where I've made them and a couple of years later realised they were complete ass and thrown them out after I'd finished them. But I've never had one that I've abandoned. If I have, I've just abandoned it and put it back in the box and never finished it. I started the Mackie Raider and just it wasn't going anywhere, and I just got bored of it within a day or two and put it back in the box. I started weathering the Master Grade Full Armour Unicorn Gundam, which is up there in a box, and it wasn't working, and I put it back in the box. But nothing that I've ever abandoned and thrown out in the middle of building. What about you guys? Have you ever just given up and thrown something out?
Yes, very badly.
Go on.
Because like most of us, I used to do models back when I was younger, and then gave it away for a few years and got back into it. When I got back into it, the first one I was doing was it was a Tamiya kit, the Celica Castrol rally car. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but yeah, I was trying to paint it and trying to do all this stuff, and I couldn't get parts to fit properly because of the way I painted it, and I got so frustrated I ended up crushing it, throwing it against the wall, and pretty much stomping on it into a million pieces and throwing it in the bin, and then totally regretting that a couple of weeks later, thinking, what did I do that for? I could have maybe saved that. But yeah, that's the one and only time I've destroyed a kit out of frustration because it just was not behaving the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, it's like a throwing the controller moment, isn't it? You kind of do it and then regret it.
Oh, yes.
But no, I've never actually
I've broken a controller in half in the past.
Really?
The old Sega Master System, and got snapped in half. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, new one, please.
So we're learning more about your personality here by the fact that you're easily frustrated and violent when frustrated.
Yeah, well,
everybody
not so
be nice
bad
to Will,
nowadays,
please.
Yes, don't anger me. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Anybody else had stuff they've abandoned halfway through and just gone, yeah, forget it?
Yeah, the Revell 144th scale space shuttle.
I knew the bit.
Because
I knew somebody was going to say Revell at some point in this conversation, but
there's this
continue.
gaps this wide in the space shuttle, and I couldn't be bothered filling all those, rescribing every panel line, so I just ditched it and bought a different brand.
I think there comes a certain point when with a kit where there's a certain amount of cleanup you'll need to do and repairs and things like that, and you'll be like, okay, no, that's fair play. There's a panel gap, I'll fill it. But then you get the kits where it is so bad that you're just like, there's no way this should have ever been sold for money, and therefore I refuse to have to do the remedial work to fix it because screw you, Revell, and you just throw it in the waste. So I can see that if it's that bad, it's almost like, why should I even bother if they can't be bothered to make a good kit for me to work on?
Yeah, it was one of the kits when I first came back into the hobby. I just quickly built, and it was in my display cabinet. I was looking at it, and I thought, well, that thing looks like crap. I really need to do that again. And yeah, then I found the kit really doesn't fit together properly, and I couldn't be bothered anymore.
You know,
Whereas the one I built earlier, I messed up all the decals, so it wasn't that bad. But
I kind of knew it wouldn't take long for us to get back on the slagging off Revell kit.
basically, it's the same with the Tornado. You know, I built it before. It kind of looked okay, but I wanted to do it again, and then it was like, let's flip the table. And
I very nearly did that with my Deep Space Nine. Actually, we like saying with the gaps in the shuttle, the DS9 kit, it suffers some pretty hefty gaps in that as well, and I very nearly threw in the towel on that one. But no, I thought I wanted it to be finished because it was taking me so long, and I just struggled through it and filled the gaps in and spent a bit of time on that. But yeah, same thing. The gaps just like, whoa, you could fit a whole friggin' Enterprise into that gap.
I mean, I remember making that exact kit, and I don't remember because this was when I was much younger and I didn't do filling of gaps and things like that. I don't remember it being that bad, but there was a gap between the docking arms and the outer ring, and that was a bit there. But I was young and I could live with that because I was like, wow, I've just used an airbrush for the first time and it's the best thing ever. Big panel gaps. Yeah, didn't see those.
But my problem was because I had it stuffed full of fiber optics trying to get it all down, and that created it wasn't necessarily the model that the kit's fault. It was just what I'd put inside it that was creating gaps. And once again, that one you mentioned with the pylons connected to the docking ring, there's a pretty hefty gap there that I spent quite a bit of time filling in. But
so what you're saying is shoddy workmanship led to the issue.
Yes.
And you felt compelled to not throw that against the wall because.
Well, I did say I think last time I almost burnt it down when I burnt out the LEDs and turned around to take a photo and there's smoke coming out of it. It's like, ooh. So yeah.
You get a bit of weathering out of it though. You got a bit of weathering going on there. Ted, have you ever had any abandoned kits that have just?
No, I don't. One thing, I kind of hold my temper. I'm very placid. I just blow things to bits on the weekend off. But no, I'm too tight to throw things in the bin. I usually finish them amazingly well, and then just shove them under the bench and forget about them.
I think that's the most honest thing we've heard. I'm too tight to throw things away. There's a bit of honesty there. Yeah, I'm the same. I'll be reluctant to throw something away because every time I make a kit, even like I'll have a kit that I'll do and I'll think I'll do it as a quick fun build and then I'll do a full paint job because I can't just waste the money I've spent on the kit to do a quick fun build. It never quite works out the way I planned. But yeah, I'm the same, I suppose. Adam, what about you, mate? Have you ever thrown one down in anger?
Yeah, it was a royal mess, and that was, I can't remember who made it, but it was an Enterprise, a Star Trek Enterprise, the original Constellation class. And at that time, I was in my teens, and I was using the testers. Don't ever use the tube blue. And I could not get the nacelles to stay on right. I would get them on. I'd get them perfectly lined up, and then all of a sudden you just start watching them start sagging. And no matter what I did, I could never get them to stand up properly in the V formation.
If it's any consolation, all these years later, that's every Enterprise kit ever.
Yeah.
It sounds like an old
You see that
AMT
all
kit,
the time.
possibly, but
Yeah, I think it was an AMT kit.
Yeah, but that's the problem you have with every single Enterprise kit if you don't reinforce it with metal rods.
And it was one of those kits. It left a bad taste in my mouth for modeling in general because, I mean, I tried everything. I even went in and got some putty to try to fix it and everything, and it turned me off. And when I started working on the TARDIS builds, first out of foam board and then out of balsa wood is the most unforgiving material. If you cut it wrong, you just scrapped a whole entire piece of wood. And like in one of my videos for the TARDIS, you see where I did something stupid and I didn't do one of the posts. And I had cut all 4 posts out. I had videotaped it. I actually had it on the YouTubes. And then I had to do a supplemental video of, well, I screwed up. This is what happens when you screw up. You just got to suck it up and go back and do it again.
Well,
and
it's a good thing that does happen with us, though, because, you know, all of us have had that happen on a video. We're all the kind of people that would actually rather show it and say, yeah, I screwed that up. And here's how I screwed it up, and here's how I'm going to try and fix it. And it may not work, and it might, but, you know, at least we show that. We're not one of these... I won't mention names, but there are ones out there where you'll always get a perfect build every video series, and it's like, it's not quite how it actually works most of the time, actually.
Yeah. And, I mean, and one of the biggest things that I try to express on people is when you do start screwing up, like with this Mark IV tank, there's a time when you just say, you know what, I'm going to put it in the box, set it to the side, get back to it when I'm in a much better place mentally.
None of us are ever in a better place mentally, but carry on.
Well, that's true too. But we're not threatening to shoot it with a shotgun either.
Well, there is that. You're denying your national heritage to not shoot it with a shotgun.
Well, the thing is the one person we needed on this podcast for that particular question is Tony and the Wonder Horse.
Aerodite the Space Horse. Yeah, we'll catch him next time. Tony sends his apologies. He's actually doing family stuff at the moment, so it was lucky to get all of us here together at all, actually. Cool. Let's do another one. Let's do one more, because we're getting on a bit now for time. Let's try another one. Let's have a look.
These questions I don't mind. It's the after-hour podcast questions that scare me.
Right. Okay, here's a good one. It's from Nathaniel Simpson. It's not an easy one to answer because it's not a quick answer. My 10-year-old son is diving headfirst into modelling. Model making, we assume, obviously not modelling. He unless he looks really good, you never know. He wants an airbrush to paint his creations. Is this what he needs, or is there a recommendation that you could make for us? And I'll throw this one open to the panel before I go anywhere near it. So he's 10 years old, and he wants to get into he wants to get an airbrush. What would we say to someone who's 10 years old and wants to get into the dark, mysterious art of airbrushing?
Get a single action airbrush. Basically. Just air, constant flow, and just learn how to work the trigger. Yeah. That worked for my son. I know it's Revell, but they have a starter kit, which is about €100, which is a really small compressor and an airbrush, gravity fed, it's single action, and you can learn how to work the airbrush. Basically, it's a rattle can, but with constant airflow.
I'd kind of say, I actually know of that airbrush, and I would say, for people like us, like our normal viewers, we wouldn't obviously normally recommend a single action airbrush, but for your son who's 10, like I've said, like we've all said in various videos, airbrushing is one of those things that's got a learning curve like that. You start off, it's very steep, but doesn't last very long, and it's very easy to be put off. So for your son who's 10, just starting out, a single action airbrush where it's literally the paint is either on or off. For those who don't know, a dual action airbrush is where you push down for air and pull back for paint, and you can control both independently. Single action is basically, is that a single action, Adam?
Double action.
That's double action. You push down for paint.
Push down for air, pull back, and you get your you get your paint flow.
Yep. Whereas a single action is literally, you, in a lot of cases, you just pull the trigger back or you just push it down, and you can't, it just basically turns the air and the paint on at the same time. So you can't vary the amount of paint to air, the ratio. So it's literally on or off.
Sorry, I still have the airbrush. It looks like a normal airbrush.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no pressing down action. It's just pulling the trigger that works the needle. And it works pretty good for starts, for learning. And it's really easy to clean. There's not a lot of parts that come off, so.
That's a good suggestion. I mean, the thing to bear in mind is as well that you can always make your son aware that there are more complex and flexible airbrushes available. But while he's starting out, start him on the easy one, just to get him used to using an airbrush, to cleaning an airbrush, because that's the stripping down and cleaning an airbrush is the one thing that puts so many people off. So if you can get him used to that on something really straightforward, so he's not got this massive learning curve, by the time he's old enough to get to a double action airbrush, he's comfortable with it. He knows what he's doing. And
I know.
For air as well, like rattle cans of air, Stardo, you don't have to go and buy, or that kit, if it comes with a compressor, isn't bad for 100 quid, 100 euros, which is about 80, 90 quid, something like that. Australian dollars, about 12 trillion. Yeah, that's a good suggestion from TK there, actually. Something that looks and works like an airbrush, but is a lot less complex than an actual airbrush and a lot less expensive.
I don't know if they got them over there, but I know when people would come into the hobby shop and ask about airbrushes. I mean, first question I always asked them was, okay, how much are you willing to spend? And we're talking about, this is money you'll never see again, so you better be happy with what you get. And if they're just starting out, and maybe like with a 10-year-old who's maybe just doing like a Revel car kit where they're just wanting to do some body paint or something like that, we got those kits where it's the aerosol can, the CO2 aerosol can, and it's a siphon fed single action airbrush. And I'll recommend that. And that's usually probably about maybe 30, 40 bucks. And then when people want to get into the more complicated, I'll always, because I am the king of, I buy the cheap equipment and never buy the nice stuff, I'll direct them over to like Amazon or something, and like the master brush kits where you can get an airbrush, a decent compressor, a double action, gravity fed airbrush, the tube, everything you need for maybe $80. Yeah. And if you take care of those, they will last you forever and a day. I mean, when mine, and we've all joked about my rest in peace little picture I threw up, I had that airbrush for about 2 years, and the average lifespan of one of those is probably about 6 months. So, I mean, if you take good care of them, they'll last you forever. And even with this one, I've had my 8-year-old on it, I've had my 9-year-old on it, and I've had my 12-year-old on it. And just, I will pull out one piece of foam that I use for painting on, and I say, go to town, have fun. Yeah. Look, just make a mess, have fun. And I guess that's one of my recommendations is give them a piece of card paper, give them a piece of foam, give them something, and just let them have fun. And that way they can start learning, okay, how to do straight lines, maybe how to do, okay, I'm going to pull away from this far and I'm going to get a big blast versus coming up here and it's going to start pulling.
Yeah, getting them familiar with the brush and how it works. And if you combine that with, what you've said with what TK said about, starting off with something simple like a single action airbrush, it's less scary to them. One other thing as well, because I meant to say, because Nathaniel doesn't say where he is, but if you're in the UK, go to Halfords. Believe it or not, Halfords actually have cheap airbrush kits because somebody might want to paint their motorbike helmet. They have cheap airbrush kits that are like 40 quid, and it's an airbrush. Unfortunately, it's a siphon feed with the bottle underneath, but hey, it's not the end of the world if you're just starting. They have some slightly more complex ones, and it's basically a brush and a tube and a can of air, and you can get cans of air. So yeah, if you're struggling, pop into Halfords if you're in the UK. They've got some cheap airbrush kits as well, same kind of thing. But like Adam says, just get something cheap and cheerful to start with, something that's not too complicated, so you're not going to blind them with science, and just get them playing with it on card or cardstock or whatever you've got, so they can get used to how it works. That, like you were saying, pulling the airbrush away, making it close, get them doing dots and circles and squares and straight lines and things like the things you always do when you first start doing it. And as soon as because he's 10 years old, he'll pick it up really quickly and he'll get really comfortable with it, and he'll probably be better than us in about a week. So we were old when we started to use airbrushes, so our brains, we haven't got the plasticity in our brain, so we can't learn that now. But he's like,
I know when I was teaching Brandon, because we all know Brandon swore up and down he would never use an airbrush to save his life.
Brandon is 7.5 years old, so he's got that plasticity in his brain. So
yeah.
Sorry, I crashed out a little bit there, so I didn't quite get everything with the answers. You will find a 10-year-old is probably quite au fait with YouTube as well, and there are millions of sort of instructions and advice and everything else you could ever think of about airbrushing out there. So just pick up the Dr. Faust painting clinic's quite a good one that I can think of off the top of my head, but just a search of YouTube to find out how to airbrush, and there's millions of people out there telling you how to do it.
Yeah, just on an aside, just on a tangent from that, I have to, I suppose technically it's a shout out, actually give a shout out to Dr. Faust Painting Clinic channel, because how that man for those who don't know Dr. Faust, go onto YouTube and look up Dr. Faust Painting Clinic. The guy is a genius with the brush. He can do stuff with the brush that I can't do with an airbrush. And I've subscribed to him for quite a while. He's incredible, but he does do a load of stuff on airbrushes. A lot of stuff is brush painting, and it's incredible. If you want to learn how to brush paint, go and check his stuff out. But yeah, there's loads of good stuff, and there's loads of channels out there. But the other thing to bear in mind as well is not only are 10-year-olds more au fait with YouTube than us, they probably know more about everything than us. So
now, I will say this about YouTube: there's this one guy out there that is a great intro to airbrushing and painting and everything, and this is what I ended up with.
You mentioned the D'Agostini Falcon again, didn't you? God damn you! When I can convert my garage to a workspace, I will carry on with that Falcon.
But I tell
Thank
you
very
what,
much. Next issue.
That top disc actually turned out really good thanks to your video, as far as like the shadowing and everything. So
yeah, that's about as far as I got.
So I've stripped down the airbrush really quickly because I forgot. There's 9 parts, so just 9 parts. That's not bad. That's not bad.
And that's the Revell.
That's the Revell starter, €100 starter kit.
And you can probably assume it's fairly good because it's probably not actually made by Revell, so it's probably all right because it's probably made by Iwata or somebody. So.
And I think it's got a 0.5 needle in there, so it's not really that accurate. But for starting to learn airbrushing, it should be all right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to worry quite so much about the size of it just yet. It's more just can he get used to using it. Brilliant. Well,
I think as well that when you watch these videos on YouTube, it sometimes can blow your mind because they talk about mixing paints and getting the paint the right consistency and straining it through a pair of tights and things like that. That's a lot of rubbish. All you need to do is get some decent airbrushable paint. Don't need any mixing, straight out of the bottle, and you're ready to go. So it's just a matter of putting your paint in your paintbrush, press the trigger, and away it goes, so that you don't have to get...
Valero Model Air.
Yeah, Valero Model Air. Cheap and cheerful.
That's a good one, straight out of the bottle, yeah.
Yeah. Cheap and cheerful, straight out of the bottle, into your airbrush, and you're on. No mixing.
For those in America that might not want to spend the extra money but want to go with Tamiya paints, yes, you have to... Even though they say it's airbrush ready, I still mix mine 50-50 with rubbing alcohol. I don't even use like paint thinner. I use $3 bottle of rubbing alcohol from the drugstore, and it works fine. It looks good. I've never had a case where I've had a lot of modeling or anything like that, or the fuzzy bunnies where you start getting it splattering. But Tamiya is definitely a lot cheaper here in America than the Vallejos.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of paints, and like Ted was saying, you get all these people that say you need to strain it, filter it, and all that kind of stuff. My general rule of thumb is if it's Tamiya, thin it 50-50. If it's Vallejo or anybody else, it's a few drops of thinner maybe if you need it. And the Ammo by MIG paint, you don't actually need to thin it. And the Vallejo Air, you technically don't need to thin it, but sometimes you can. But yeah, no, just go with a nice simple paint. Vallejo is probably one of the simplest ones to use because you don't have to thin it.
Yeah, and it's non-toxic, so
yeah,
for a child, that's probably the go-to paint. I only use acrylic paints when I'm painting with my son, so yeah.
I use an airbrush rather than my son, but there you go.
You broke up.
Did I just break up in the middle of a really bad joke and kill the joke even more?
Didn't hear any of that.
Oh, never mind. We'll move on from that joke that probably wasn't.
Well, I have a follow-up question for that. Have any of y'all ever looked at other airbrush non-model making videos, like maybe like some of these guys that are doing cakes?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because I mean they use the same technique, different paints, but they're using the same techniques we're using as far as shadowing and everything like that. And I've never looked at them, but I didn't know if anybody else had.
No, I've never watched them. I'll be honest, but I know they're out there.
I did follow some guy, I can't remember his name, who used to airbrush guitars and stuff like that. That was really awesome because he started out with a huge white blob and ended up with the face of David Bowie or something. So, yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't, if you're getting into I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're getting into airbrush, there's, like Tony or Ted said, there's tons of videos out there, and it doesn't have to be just model making. I mean, if you look up airbrushing cakes, makeup, FX stuff like masks, guitars, cars. I mean, Foxx airbrushed his whole entire car like a model.
Well, it's more of a spray gun than an airbrush, but yes. But yeah,
it's still basic techniques, though.
Yeah, they're all the same techniques. There's enough resources out there on the YouTubes and other places that I'm sure your son will be more than happy to figure that out. And the trick is just to get him something simple to start with, so reduce the barriers as much as possible to him getting interested in it. Because, like I said in my sort of simple airbrush guide, there's so many things that get in your way and make it not hard to learn, but will put you off. If you can keep that as simple as possible, bonus, you've got him hooked. And once he's hooked, of course, then in a few years he's asking you to buy him perfect grade kits, which I fully endorse. Well, thank you for that, guys. I think that's going to do it for that question. And I think that will do it for the podcast, to be honest. We've been going for about an hour. I need to stop wobbling my desk because every time I do the camera wobbles. Apologies, folks. I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, as always. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, hopefully you had a great Christmas. And here's hoping you have a great new year. Here's hoping 2017 is a cool year for you. It just remains to me to obviously thank you all for watching. Remember, stay tuned if you're a Patreon patron for the After Hours part, which will come after this one, exclusive to Patreon supporters. If you're not a supporter, go along, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. Become a patron and you get access to that and other things as well. So it just remains to me to thank the guys for coming along tonight. We have, as always, Adam from Enigma Model Making. Thank you so much for tonight, Adam.
Oh, no, thank you for having me again.
I thought you changed your hat there to some kind of like Confederate or non-Confederate or what the other one is. The hat with the little bows on it.
No, I had my little plastic frog on it.
Ted from Skipper Scale Models, thank you so much. Skipper Ted on YouTube. We need to change your thing, don't we? So it says Skipper Ted, I suppose.
But nice to see you all.
Right, TK, thank you so much as ever from TK's Models.
See you in the new year. Have a good one.
All right, and Will from Models by Will, thank you so much for coming along at 9 in the morning there, 10 in the morning your time in space or wherever you live.
Thanks, everyone, and remember, I am your father.
And on that bombshell, yeah, it's copyright, but not anymore, because hey. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We'll tune in for the next one, which will be sometime in the new year when we've all sobered up, probably. But we'll now take a quick break and go off and record the After Hours. So until then, as always, go make something cool. Go eat all the turkey because you're going to be eating turkey for the next 4 days. Deal with it. It's the way it works. And as always, adios amoebas.
Bye.
Bye, guys.